The Tale Hurt, Edgar Allan Poe. Interview structure for a talk show featuring a Gothic short history. Chosen subgenre Gothic. Chosen author Edgar Allan Poe. Short history The Tale Hurt. Interviewer. Welcome everyone to our special talk show. Today we have a fascinating episode lined up for you. We'll be diving deep into the airy world of Gothic fiction with none other than the protagonist from Edgar Allan Poe's chilling story, The Telltale Heart, and of course, we also have the brilliant mind tapping it all, Mr. Edgar Allan Poe himself. Let's get started with our interview. Interview with the protagonist. Exposition. Interview. You seem to be fixated on the old man and his eye. Can you tell us how you first came to life with him and what initially sparked your obsession with his protagonist? Ah, yes, the old man. He had never wronged me, never insulted me. I loved the word man, but is I hope that vulture in it haunted me, made my blood run cold. It wasn't the man, but that I, whenever it fell upon me, my very soul was disturbed. That was the reason it had to be destroyed. Rising action. Interview. As your obsession grew, you began to plan maturely. Can you walk us through your neglect visits to the old man's home? What were you thinking during those moments? Protagonist. Each night, around midnight, I would creep into his home. Ever so quiet, I would gently push the door open. Ever so slowly, my lantern, concealed by a piece of cloth, would cast a single ray of light upon that dreadful eye. But it was always closed. It made my blood boil, but I remained patient. I knew that one night the eye would be open and I would be ready. Climax. Interview. On the eighth night, everything changed. What went to go our mind when the old man suddenly woke up and opened his eye. Protagonist. Oh, that night! My heart pounded louder than ever before, but I remained still. When he opened his eye, the very sight of it made me furious. It was wide open, staring eyes at me. That was the moment I knew it bad to be done. I closed here. The old man's heart beat a shag in my ears. It grew louder and louder. Once I closed back it no longer. I had to silence it. Failing action interview. After commit the act, you went to great lengths to conserve the events. How did you feel as the police arrived, and did you think you had successfully gotten away with it? Protagonist. I was calm, confident. I had been so clever, so thorough in my work. The old man was hidden, and there wasn't a single drop of blood to be found. When the officers arrived, I welcomed them in smiling, even leading them 10 to 1. The judge, they suspected nothing. I was certain I that was mad than all. Resolution interview. But then something changing. You saying me to unravel what happened in those final moments that led to your confession. Protagonist. It was that sound, that infernal heartbeat. At first, I thought it was my imagination, but it grew louder and louder. The officers continued to talk, oblivious, but the noise consumed me. I couldn't escape it. I realized it was the heartbeat of the old man coming from beneath the floorboards. It tortured me, mocked me. I could no longer stand it. In a frenzy, I confessed, begging them to tear up the planks and hit me off that awful sound.
Interview with the author Edgar Allan Poe. Interviewer: Mr. Poe, The Telltale Heart is a gripping example of Gothic fiction. What inspired you to write this story, and how did the idea come to you? Edgar Allan Poe. The idea for The Telltale Heart stemmed from my fascination with the human mind, particularly how guilt can unravel a person. I wanted to explore how a seemingly rational person could come to a heinous act and be driven mad by the very thing they sought to avoid: detection. The Gothic genre, with its emphasis on psychological horror, allowed me to delve deep into the protagonist's disturbed psyche. Interviewer: the story is known for its suspense and intensity. How did you structure the plot to maintain that tension throughout? Edgar Allan Poe: I focused on the narrator's growing paranoia and descent into madness. By keeping the story confined to his perspective, readers are drawn into his distorted reality. The tension builds gradually from his obsessive thoughts to the final, climactic moment of confession. Each step of the plot is designed to pull the reader deeper into his unraveling mind. Interviewer: many readers are struck by the narrator's unreliable nature. What was your intention behind creating such an unreliable narrator? Edgar Allan Poe: I wanted to challenge the reader's perception of reality by presenting a narrator who insists on his sanity while simultaneously revealing his madness. I created a tension between what he says and what he does. This unreliability forces readers to question the truth of the story and compels them to engage more deeply with the text. Interviewer: Gothic literature often deals with themes of death, madness, and the supernatural. Why did you choose to explore these themes in your work? Edgar Allan Poe: death, madness, and the supernatural are universal fears that resonate deeply with people. They allow me to explore the darker aspects of the human experience. In the Telltale Heart, I sought to show how these themes can manifest within the human mind, turning ordinary life into a nightmarish experience. Interviewer: finally, what impact did you hope the Telltale Heart would have on your readers, and how do you see its place within the Gothic tradition? Edgar Allan Poe: I hoped that the Telltale Heart would leave readers with a sense of unease, a lingering doubt about the nature of sin and guilt. Its place within the Gothic tradition is one of psychological horror rather than overt supernatural elements. By focusing on the mind's capacity for self-destruction, I believe the story captures the essence of Gothic fiction, exploring the fears that lurk with us all. Thank you, Ana Flávia Gonçalves, Laura Aparecida Martins de Souza Silva.